What have we done to the earth? What have we done to our fair sister? We have ravaged her and spit on her and bit her and tripped her. We have led her to fire and burned her down and left her crying underground. What have we done to the earth?
Hey everybody, Alwin here. Today's vlog is not meant to make you all depressed without leaving you with solutions. So I want to go now into solutions. What can we do? It seems that there are world leaders and elitists out there that really choose to turn a blind eye towards climate change and the science, which is now 100% fact, and that is an alarming thing. I remember the Prime Minister of Australia, once all of Australia is burning, and he blatantly denied that climate change had anything to do with it. It seems that there are certain leaders and elitists out there that are more concerned about their capital gain and hanging on to it than investing into solutions that could save our planet and keep the continuity of our planet going. We all want to have children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and we want them to have children and so on. So it's really upsetting to see that, you know, there's an elite group out there that is not denying it. They know the science. They're blatantly ignoring it for the sake of holding on to money. That is an alarming thing. But let me tell you, I mean, if you're in the top 3% of this world, and that's somebody with maybe $1 million, if you have $1 million in assets, your home, your business, everything included, $1 million bucks, you're in the top 3% of the planet. So I'm going to put the pressure on you guys. I'm part of that group, and I want to put the pressure on us to be the leaders that can push the laws through to make a better world. Give you an example. I live in the Cologne province, and we are going to be the very first people in the entire province to power share with the grid. So we're going to have a solar array, which is going to put power back into the grid. In order to get all that underwritten, it's going to take months and months. It's going to cost us a capital investment to get all that going. But once it's there, then anybody in the Cologne province of Panama can do the same thing. They can now power share with the grid. So a little hunky-dory operation over here has a couple panels. He can power share back to the grid. The grid will buy your power at less than they're selling it to you, but they're the grid. They have all the expenses of putting up the poles and everything. So, but the point is, if you can produce enough power, it can then be offset against the power you're using. So let's say you use 10 kilowatts of power, but you produced 11. Now you're getting actually paid on that extra kilowatt. So that's how it works. It works already in many countries, and it's going to work here in Panama as well. It takes the top 3% to start pushing these legislations through, and maybe it costs us a little extra to get it through and a little bit of headaches, but it's worth it. Don't you think? I think so. So now the guy with no money says, well, what can I do? Well, there's lots you can do. You can turn off the TV at night before you go to bed instead of leaving it running all night. Turn off the lights before you go to bed. Maybe unplug your computer rather than letting it idle all night long. Little teeny things like that. If millions of us do these things, we are going to reduce our overall energy output incredibly, which then reduces our overall atmospheric carbon. Every one of us should take it upon ourselves to do the little things. People have been offering me plastic bags in Panama ever since I got here. One of the first things I learned in Spanish is sin plastic, por favor. I don't want a plastic bag. So do the little things. It'll add up. There is hope. We're not done. Not by a long shot. We will be done if we don't do anything about it. So here you go. Let me give you some positive news. The lowest power purchase agreement 3 years ago for solar energy was in Abu Dhabi. It was $2.80. The lowest power purchase agreement 2 years ago per kilowatt hour was in Nevada for $2.30. Last year, it was in Mexico at $1.70. You see where we're going? When you hit $1.50, which is probably going to happen this year, you have now equaled the price of producing hydrogen power cheaper than any fossil fuel available. The fossil fuel age will be done, and the hydrogen age will begin at $1.50 per kilowatt hour for renewables. Then we're producing hydrogen using renewables. These are some positive things going on, folks. And it's a mathematical certainty we're going to enter the hydrogen age. It's a mathematical certainty. A lot of this, like reducing our plastic, we've done a great push on planet Earth. We got to continue, especially with the oil price crashed. Guess what the oil industry is going to want to do? They're going to want to make more plastic, and we have to now be on our toes and be aware. I think a lot is going to change, especially when we get past this corona time. We're going to focus in on the environmental issues, and there's going to be a great push. I want you all to be in position for that. So there I am going, the oil companies are the bad guys. In actuality, all of Europe's main oil companies are investing away from becoming solely oil companies, and they're transitioning into becoming energy companies. Each one of them, Shell, Rexall, they've all invested colossal billions into renewables. And they've gone as far as to underwrite new legislations all across Europe in order to meet the new futuristic demand of being an energy company and slowly phasing out fossil fuel. Actually, the only companies that are large companies that really aren't doing that right now are the American ones. Exxon, Chevron. You guys suck. And you need to get on board, because there is no future in fossil fuel, as I've just proven. Little extra bonus about the hydrogen age. All natural gas infrastructure can be switched over to hydrogen on a dime. All you have to do is adjust the burners a little. So the oil industry has led us to the hydrogen age. Once upon a time, there was a whaling industry, and we almost whaled the whales to extinction. There wasn't very many whales left in the ocean. And then somebody decided to drill in the ground in Pennsylvania, and boom, they found some oil. Well, that actually saved the whales. But now the oil industry is going to go the way of whaling into renewable age. I have longed to gather your children together, like a mother hen gathers her chicks under her wing. But you were not willing. Behind me is bamboo. Bamboo is the fastest growing vegetation, plant life on Earth. It's actually in the plant family, not the tree family. And one concept we had is to take something like bamboo, which can capture carbon while it's alive. It's breathing in carbon, breathing out the oxygen. The problem is when something dies, like a tree or a plant, then it releases its carbon. So if we can stop the carbon decay process, i.e. stopping it essentially from releasing its carbon, then what we have done is we have successfully captured the carbon that otherwise would have been released. So vegetation's great at producing oxygen, but then it dies. It's actually in balance with nature. Problem is, humanity has put so much extra carbon in the atmosphere that now we need to come up with ways to reduce that carbon. So my thought is, and my father's thought actually, it's his idea, but I think it's a brilliant idea, is you take something like bamboo, then you grind it up, shred it up in a shredder, then you stick the shreds in an industrial microwave run on solar power. Turn that shreds into biochar. Now you have successfully stored the carbon, and essentially now you're reducing our carbon footprint as a species. That carbon can be turned into other things like products. Do you eat on a plate? Today a plate produces a carbon footprint to make. Tomorrow's plate can be made out of carbon and reduce the carbon footprint to make. Do you use paint? Do you use concrete? All these things can be carbon reducing in the future rather than carbon creating. So that's one idea of what can be done. There are plenty of ideas out there, people, and I challenge you to find your niche and make it work. Panama essentially doesn't have any manageable dumps. So they burn their garbage at Panama City. Actually, Panama City dumps 30% of their garbage straight into the ocean, puts it on barges, drags it out, and dump. Everybody uses the rural roadsides as their dump. There's no manageable dumps. So people have just been taking their garbage and chucking it out the window, which then goes into the lake. It ends up going down the cliffside, running off back into the lake. So what we're here to do is try to educate people on a better way. We would like to see Panama actually invest in, dumps that are working rather than just torching it at the dump. We actually want the education system to pick up on being more environmentally friendly. We're going to be inviting teams of students out here from every level of right up to university and right down to primary school. We would like people to come out here and help clean up the lake, clean up the garbage that's in the lake, the way we have been doing. We have now ripped out hundreds and hundreds of pounds of garbage out of this lake. I wish I could tell you we live on a pristine lake, but that's not the case. The lake is pristine, and we want to keep it that way, and the way we do that is by getting Panamanians involved in cleaning up their own mess. Congratulations, Seventh-day Adventist youth, for cleaning up a bunch of garbage out of the lake. Congratulations, Boy and Girl Scout leaders, for cleaning up a bunch of garbage out of the lake. You guys are an inspiration, an inspirational generation coming up. Hey, Joy.
Hello there. Yes?
Do you know any ways we can be more ecologically friendly?
Well, one thing that I always apply in our daily life is reusing. So this is our cardboards from the grocery.
Wow.
And we are using this to combat against weeds. We suffocate them, we flatten them up, and make sure that you put some mulch, or at this time we don't have any mulch ready, so we're just going to put this here to make sure that it won't fly away and it's good to go, and the weeds won't grow until we're ready.
You gonna put some wood chips on it too?
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
See ya.